It's so nice to be here in Northern Ontario. It's so peaceful. We're on Esnagi Lake, and we're fishing out of Marmac Lodge. And it's about the middle of the day. It's 11:30. Pretty soon we're going to go try for some walleye to complement our pike that we're going to have for lunch. Good fight, eh?
It is. Very good fight.
We've caught some pike right up to 38, 39 inches. This one isn't huge. It's actually going to be nice for shore lunch because we want to show you a tip on how to take the Y bones out of pike. So if you lead him this way, Barb, it looks like you got him hooked nicely. Just one hook on that Lucky Strike spoon. He's trying to head shake.
He is.
A little closer. Look at that. Very nice. Good, healthy fish. Let me see if I can grab him without the glove, Barb. Got him just over the gill plate, which is a great place to grab pike. You know, in the old days, a lot of people would grab pike by the eyes, and that's not so good because the eyes are connected to the optic nerve, which is connected to the brain, so it's very painful for the fish, especially if you're going to release it. Not a good idea. Now look, Barb, it just held on by that little tissue. Watch.
Awesome.
Isn't that awesome? You fought it just right. Now, the #1 lure probably across Canada for northern pike is a spoon. It used to be that it was a red and white spoon, but now there's so many different spoons on the market. This particular one is made by Lucky Strike, and it's very special because we've used it for everything from fishing for salmon, trolling in the Great Lakes, to deep trolling for lake trout on Eagle Lake, and also for pike and walleye. And you can see that beside it being a spoon, it has two little blades. So it's got an extra attractor, and I believe it's called an attractor. So on one side it's silver, on the other side it's pearl with spots. It's a very good spoon to use for all different size fish. Now here on Esnagi Lake, you can keep 6 pike a person. 2 have to be under 24 inches, and 1 can be over that, like between 24 and about 33 inches. So I'm going to measure this guy. He's going to be over 24, but he's actually a good size to keep for doing our demonstration. So he's about 29.5 inches. So we're going to show you in just a little bit when we have shore lunch how you properly remove the Y bones, because you know what? Pike are also excellent to have with walleye for shore lunch, and in many lakes, pike are very plentiful, more plentiful than walleye. Not here though. There seems to be lots of walleye, and Marmac Lodge is ideal if you love having shore lunches. So that good eating size, probably that's enough to feed about 5 people. Pretty well all of us here. I'm with Bob Bagnall, and Bob has been our guide, and he's been doing a great job, whether we've been fishing for walleye, for pike. We're going to be doing some brook trout fishing. We've also enjoyed a nice shore lunch yesterday of walleye, and I was watching him how he deboned a pike. And I wanted, Bob, for you to show the viewers the technique that you've used over the years for taking out the Y bone, because a lot of people are intimidated. So tell me as you're doing it, and you can go right through it.
Well, first what I do when I take the pike, I turn him on his belly, on his back like this, and I want to get this bone out here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then once that's out, I'll lay him on his side, and I pretty well fillet him the same way I'm going to fillet any other fish.
Yep.
And there's your fillet of meat.
Yeah.
Now you find out right about where the rear end is.
It's usually parallel to where the anus is, so it's right about there.
And then you want to make your cut here.
Yeah.
Then you're going to turn, you're going to peel that piece of meat off.
Yeah, so that's clean.
All meat.
Yeah, no bones.
And we're going to take this piece of meat off. Then you're going to flip it over. Now you have a lateral line right here.
Yeah, we can see it. It's right down the center.
Yeah, you can see this lateral line down here.
Yep.
What we're going to do with that is we're going to take our knife, keeping it straight, not angling it either way. Yeah. And you're just going to make an incision all the way down.
Yeah.
And then you feel in there, and you can, if you're on the bone, you'll be able to feel it. Then you just keep going down very gently with your sharp knife.
Yeah. So from the center line down, no bones.
Right. This is the side we cut through. We're going to flip it over.
Yeah.
And if you run your knife down, clean it.
Yeah.
You'll pop them bones out.
There
and
they
you
are.
can see them.
You can see the tips of them. They're like
you can see the tips of them.
Opaque color. Yeah.
Now what you want to do with that is you want to stay as close to them as possible.
Yeah.
And you're just going to make a really light incision again, following that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fillet that off them bones.
Yeah. Because the Y bones are at an angle up towards the back.
And we're just going to get that piece of meat off.
So that's clean as well.
And that's no bone in that.
Good.
We're going to flip this over. Yep. Now you'll see you have an angle here.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is just go below that angle.
Yeah.
And you're going to feel that roll bone.
I can hear him.
You can hear him?
Yep.
And then you're going to fillet that off.
So that's clean too.
That's clean too.
So
now
why
this
don't we
is your strip of bone.
Now this is where I'm going to challenge you. Let's take out one Y bone. Just pull one out if you can. So the Y bone is right there. That's why it's called a Y bone. See, it's like a Y at the top. So that's what you want to remove, just like that. So Cindy, what happens if you're on the water in the middle of the lake and you have a problem? How do you get somebody's attention?
Well, there are many different types of distress signals that can be used to attract attention. Flares are one of the most common and effective devices that should be handled carefully and used only in an emergency. They should contain a Transport Canada approval stamp or label that shows the manufacturer date, and flares are only good for 4 years from the manufacturer's date. Other types of distress signals include distress flags, watertight flashlights that can be used at night to make the international SOS distress signal, and a mirror that can be used during daylight to reflect the sun towards a potential rescuer. So all of these distress signals are beneficial to have on board your boat.